This is CBS LA Mornings.
Good morning to you. Today is Friday, December 12th. I'm Amanda Storantino.
And I'm Christine Lazar. Chris Holmstrom and Kalina Estrinos will be at our Chips for Kids toy drive later today. So here are some of the stories we're tracking as you're headed out the door. A driver loses control, slams right into a building. We're live in Santa Monica with a big mess left behind.
Plus, this high school student is now back with his family after months in ICE detention. Why local leaders say he should not have been taken in the first place.
And President Trump is issuing new guardrails on AI. We'll break down the executive order regulating tech companies across all 50 states.
But first, let's take a look at your next weather. Alex Biston joining us now. She's in for Amber Lee. Hey, good morning, Alex.
Thank you very much, Alex. We are taking a look one more time at this issue in Carson. I was actually just on the phone with CHP trying to get an update here on which lanes are blocked, because at times they've had all lanes blocked, at times just the middle lanes. So as of right now, they're saying just the middle lanes blocked off northbound side of the 110 at the 91, but that's still causing a 36-minute backup from Carson Street to the 91 freeway. Then up ahead, a new problem through South LA on the northbound 110 at Slauson. This is a crash in the middle lane. This stretch overall from the 105 to the 10 is going to take you 16 minutes to get through. And then we still have this issue on the 60 as well through Diamond Bar. Stalled big rig westbound side at Grand Avenue, taking away 2 right lanes. That's a 15-minute commute there. We'll send it back to you.
Robert, thank you. An update now on a developing story in Santa Monica. A car smashed into a building and did some serious damage.
Yeah, CBS LA's Tina Patel is live at Santa Monica Boulevard and Princeton Street. And Tina, has the cleanup even started here yet? What a mess.
Well, when investigators towed away the car that was involved, they did get the debris out of the roadway, but you can see the damage to the building. There are workers in there now actually putting up some temporary beams to try to make sure that the structure doesn't collapse. It's still not clear what caused this crash. It happened just after 11 p.m. A car was going down Santa Monica Boulevard, somehow lost control and slammed into the building here at the corner of Princeton Street. Witnesses tell us that the driver had to be pulled from the car and taken to the hospital. They said he looked stunned, but they couldn't tell exactly how badly he was injured. Now, it's not immediately clear if he suffered some kind of medical emergency and that's what led to this crash, or if he might have been under the influence. Witnesses say it does look like he might have been driving fast just by the amount of damage he caused.
And I heard the vehicle lose control, and then I heard a crashing sound. When I sat up, the car was going through the building across the street. And then like it bounced or something, and it still had momentum. There was dust everywhere, and so I dodged behind the tree.
Yeah, really scary. Now, that first floor of the building is a business. There was no one inside at the time, but there was a family living in an apartment on the second floor, and they had to be evacuated. We are told by police that building and safety inspectors will be out here later to fully assess the damage. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Tina, we'll see what happens with this. Thanks so much. President Trump is taking aim at AI regulation in California and other states.
He just signed an executive order blocking states from creating excessive rules for the rapidly growing tech. CBS News' Jared Hill joins us live from New York. And Jared, this came the same day as a landmark deal between an entertainment giant and one of the biggest AI companies.
Yeah, Christine and Amanda, I mean, the timing couldn't be more serendipitous here. During that signing yesterday, President Trump said that there will only be one winner in the AI race, and he thinks that individual state regulations on how the tech should be used could get in the way of the U.S. coming out on top.
It's the AI, artificial intelligence.
From the White House, President Trump putting new guardrails on the AI race, signing an executive order intended to block states from crafting their own AI regulations, arguing a patchwork set of rules could hamstring the U.S. in the tech battle against China.
China has a central source of approval. I don't think they have any approval. They just go and build. But people want to be in the United States, and they want to do it here, and we have the big investment coming. But if they had to get 50 different approvals from 50 different states, you could forget it, because it's not possible to do.
The order creates a task force to go after states for laws the White House says contradict its minimally burdensome national policy. David Sachs, a venture capitalist who leads the president's policies on crypto and AI, says they won't challenge every state law.
Kid safety we're going to protect. We're not pushing back on that, but we're going to push back on the most onerous examples of state regulations.
This comes the same day Time magazine dubbed the architects of artificial intelligence their annual Person of the Year. And Disney announced a $1 billion investment in OpenAI, allowing users to access more than 200 of its animated and illustrated characters. Thursday, the union representing animators raised concerns. Writing in a statement, members have never received compensation for the licensing of these characters, nor will they benefit from the user-generated content made from AI powered by their creativity and labor. Interestingly, in that executive order, they actually call it Colorado for its law banning, quote, algorithmic discrimination. So it'll be interesting, again, to see what kind of regulation we see coming from the White House on this. Legal experts, though, say that the executive order will likely face court challenges of its own. Back to you.
And Jared, can you talk a little bit more about this Disney deal with OpenAI and what does it mean for the content creators using that tech?
Yeah, so this is going to be a 3-year deal specifically between Disney and the Sora AI app, where people can create these hyper-realistic pictures and videos. Folks will basically be able to tap into this huge catalog of Disney characters, costumes, environments to make AI content. The agreement, though, does not include actor voices or likenesses. Also, Disney, which is notoriously protective of its IP, especially those really well-known characters, says there will be limits on how the characters can behave in whatever this content is. No drugs, no alcohol, no other inappropriate activity, because again, this is the internet and a lot of stuff happens there.
All right, Jared, thanks so much. A live look now at Capitol Hill, where time is running out to find a way to avoid healthcare costs jumping for millions of Americans. Senators voted on and rejected dueling healthcare proposals from both parties yesterday. The Democrats want subsidies extended for 3 years, while Republicans are pushing for the money to go into health savings accounts instead. The subsidies are set to expire by the end of the year, and if they do, it means that premiums will jump for millions of Americans.
I would absolutely have to downgrade my insurance to something that barely covers my needs.
They don't really want to solve the problem. What they want is a political issue that they can run on.
Coverage got a lot harder to afford, and families facing a lot of impossible to horrible choices.
House lawmakers could take up a health care package next week, but the measure might not include the subsidies. The Trump administration is racking up the pressure on Venezuela dictator Nicolas Maduro.
There are now new sanctions and threats of more military action. Those sanctions were slapped on people and businesses with ties to Maduro, including 3 of his wife's nephews, a businessman, and 6 shipping companies that operate in Venezuela's oil sector. U.S. Special Forces seized a massive oil tanker earlier this week. The White House says it was transporting sanctioned oil used to fuel the country's narco-terrorism regime. That tanker is being towed to a U.S. port, and the White House says investigators are interviewing its crew.
We're not going to stand by and watch sanctioned vessels sail the seas with black market oil, the proceeds of which will fuel narco-terrorism of rogue and illegitimate regimes around the world.
Maduro slammed the tanker operation on state TV yesterday, likening it to the Pirates of the Caribbean. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are also calling for more transparency from the White House.
This morning, we are hearing from a man at the center of a major ICE controversy. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is back home in Maryland after a federal judge ordered him to be released from custody. His case made national headlines earlier this year after he was mistakenly deported to a notorious El Salvador prison, then brought back to the U.S. in June and charged with human smuggling. Abrego Garcia spoke this morning in front of an ICE field office in Baltimore, where he was ordered to check in this morning 14 hours after he was released.
Estoy aquí como un hombre libre y siempre recuérdenme así, con la cabeza en alto.
I stand before you as a free man, and I want you to remember me this way, with my head held up high.
Abrego Garcia was taken into custody again in August during an immigration check-in. He has pled not guilty, and his trial is set for next month. The Department of Justice is expected to appeal his release.
A local high school student who spent months in ICE detention is now back with his family. 18-year-old Benjamin Guerrero Cruz was detained by federal agents back in August, just before he was about to start his senior year at high school. He was held at a detention facility in Adelanto and then briefly in Arizona. Congresswoman Luz Rivas helped to get him released.
His family has him for the holidays. He should have never been detained. This young man, all he was doing is walking his dog in the morning when he was detained.
Congresswoman Rivas says ICE did not have a warrant for his arrest or his detainment. The Department of Homeland Security says Guerrero Cruz immigrated from Chile and stayed in the country after his visa expired in 2023. We're also told that removal proceedings are ongoing. Guerrero Cruz is on supervised release and will have to check in with federal agents.
New developments this morning involving a mysterious religious group in the Inland Empire. 2 members have been arrested for murder, but investigators won't say if this is connected to the disappearance of 2 other members, Ruben Moreno and Emilio Gonham. They all belong to the religious group His Way Spirit-Led Assembly. We are told the 2 men arrested are Pastor Daryl Music Martin and Rudy Moreno, who is the brother of one of the missing men. It is now 6:10, and it was a wet and wild standoff